Hello, I'm the Reverend Julie Miles and I'm one of the clergy team at St Lawrence's and All Saints and St George's. And a very warm welcome to our reflections for Holy Monday. I'm going to begin our reflection time by lighting a candle, our tea light, and placing it by my palm cross here. Peace be with you. Today we're going to look at the question, how can we use our money wisely? And we're going to begin by looking at a story from Mark's Gospel. As Jesus entered Jerusalem, the crowds continued to cheer. But when Jesus arrived at the temple, he was very angry because people were selling things there and making lots of money. Getting off the donkey, he strode into the temple, turning over the tables and scattering money and people everywhere. "My place is a house of worship," he told them, "but you've turned it into a place where robbers hide." Afterwards, Jesus stayed in the temple teaching people about God. People crowded to hear him. Later on that evening, when Jesus was having a meal, a woman came into the room. She sat at Jesus' feet and poured expensive perfume over them. The disciples were cross with her for wasting money, but Jesus looked at them and said, "She has poured perfume on my body, ready for my burial." Jesus said this because he knew the priests and the leaders did not like him and were plotting to kill him. So what do these stories teach us about how to use our money wisely? The first story is about Jesus going into the temple and seeing the courtyard filled with people selling things to be used during worship. But they charged huge sums of money, and the poor people often couldn't afford to buy those things. So Jesus was cross because he felt that poor people were being stopped from worshipping God. In the second part of our story, the disciples are cross about this woman using very expensive perfume on Jesus' feet. They saw it as a waste of money, that money could be used to help the poor people. And Jesus said that we would have the poor people with us always and that we should always help them. But he said she was doing the right thing at this moment in time, preparing him for his burial. Now, during Lent, it's traditional for us to give up something. I've given up chocolate. And what we usually do is when you give up something, we save that money and give it to charity to help other people. One thing you might like to do is to buy a tube of Smarties and open them and eat them. Oh no, I can't, can I? Because I've given up Smarties and chocolate for Lent. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll put them in a bowl and I'll save them for somebody else for later. Now my tube's empty. And what I can do is whenever I fancy some chocolate, instead of buying the chocolate, I can get some money and I can put it in the tube. The money that I would have spent on my bar of chocolate, I can put in my Smartie tube. And during Lent, I can hopefully fill up my Smartie tube with money. And when it's over, I can then give that money to charity. Another thing you might like to do is something that's in one of our packs, and that might be to make an Easter card or an Easter gift. If you have a look at the instructions in your pack, you'll find the instructions how to do that, or there's a video you could watch later on. Now, people tend to love homemade cards and gifts, so not only are you saving money, but you're also making people feel very happy. It shows that you love them. And again, you could give that money to charity and look after other people. On Easter Saturday, you're going to have the opportunity to make a prayer tent. You might want to go into that and maybe do a sponsored silence and again raise some money to give to other people. So there's lots of ideas there of things that you can do to use your money wisely. Now, one of the things I'm going to do is I've got a little picture of Jesus here, and I'm going to put this picture with my Smartie tube and my card, and that's going to remind me why I'm doing it, because that's what Jesus wanted us to do. He taught us to help other people, and by doing those things we can help other people. So I'm going to end our reflection time with a prayer now. If you'd like to listen to the words carefully and say Amen at the end. Dear God, thank you that your Son Jesus came and lived on earth as an example for us to follow. Help us to love and serve others as your Son loved and served the world. Help us to share your love with the world by serving those we meet. May the way we love others speak of your love in the world. Amen. So thank you ever so much for joining us today, and hopefully you'll join us tomorrow. God bless.